Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining. Once again, thank you guys and everybody for joining me tonight on this awesome Tuesday night. Once again, just following through with our pattern of being here Tuesday night. Thank you guys so much for being here once again. Today, we're going to be doing a little bit of update of your Pokemon business and investment update here at the beginning of February as we go into the month. It's hard to believe we're already through the first month of the year. It's been crazy. All the news that's happened in January, everything that's kind of been going on. And what can we expect as we move a little bit further into February, as we move forward into February, and what can we expect into the market? First off, as predicted, the end of January kind of slowed down for the business. The beginning of January was extremely busy. Things were moving, things were moving extremely well, and everything was going really good. Up until the last week of January, which is to be expected. People got their credit card bills, things just kind of shut down, and then people had rent coming up at the beginning of the month. All these things kind of occur, especially in February. That's why February is the best time to buy cars. There's a reasoning behind that, is just because the fact that people do slow down on their purchases, and that's totally normal. And February is typically the month now where I will restock. Just so everybody knows, as a business aspect and looking at the business side of things, February is my restock time. This is my recharge. This is where I'll go through my inventories. I'll find out what I have left, find out what I want to purchase, work on my bulk cards, get those all sorted out again, because they do get extremely backed up and just not, you just only have so much time in a day. And this is just a good recharge point when it comes down to the hobby. And that's exactly what we're kind of seeing going into February. Nothing abnormal. Next, craziness. If you aren't reloading and if you are looking at the sales factors, even your investments, now's a good time to take the opportunity to really check out and work through those investments and find out if they're things you want to keep. If they're products that you think will have value in the future. Are they already tapped out and we're already up to a point where you no longer want to hold on to them? Is there a marginal profit inside of there that you want to move on to the next thing? Really assess your bulk and really assess your sealed products and those kind of things right now. This is a good month to do that, because right now sales will slow down. It's just natural, especially in the United States. Tax season, of course, going through, people are banking on refunds. There's all these things that'll be coming forward here in the near future, beginning of March, mid-March. So really go through your stuff. This is a time where I really like to assess that kind of things. And I really like to take my time to really look at whether or not there's the value in these that I want to continue to move forward, or whether or not it's time to move on. So when it comes down to that, that's where I want to talk about today a little bit, is just that business and that investment. A lot of times this is where people kind of lose focus. Sometimes they start to lose a little bit of traction. They start to, get a little bit of despair because it seems like things are slowing down a lot. And there's good reasons, economy reasons and everything else. There's good reasons for that to happen. So definitely take the time to assess. Now's the time to do it. This is a time where I'm sitting down for the business side, looking through inventory. I'm finishing my bulk. Orders are slowing down a little bit. Like I said, January is fantastic, guys. It's probably my strongest January that I've had in a long period of time. And, that's a good thing. It means that the economy is still doing fairly well for people, at least in Pokemon. People are enjoying the hobby. And there's a lot of stuff just continuing to push forward and continuing to move. So it's a good thing. It's a really good thing that we saw that through January. Now it's just going to be a slow period. We're going to probably have 4 to 6 weeks here where it's going to be a little bit slower. You'll still have sales. I still get sales every day. It's just not the quantity that we've had in the past. And it's definitely something that's going to always occur. So just keep that in mind. Look through your investments, look through your business stuff. If you're looking at selling, if you're looking to recharge now, a lot of times people panic in this time frame also. So this is where I recharge at this point in time. People have a lot of sales. You have a lot of people trying to get rid of stuff. And that's just how it's going to be working. Personally, I wouldn't be selling anything in the month of February if you can't get what you want for it. Don't be downgrading your pricing right now. Don't be trying to shift your gears and try and push, product out the door because you think that there's an issue. Take the time to assess it, really look at it. And just remember that tax returns are coming. A large number of Americans do work on tax returns and using that as a financial gain to be able to back their hobbies, back their, purchases, the things that they really enjoy. That's a lot of times where the tax returns come into place. And Pokemon is one of those things. It's a secondary thing. It should be a secondary thing for a lot of people. And the opportunity comes up in March and April to be able to capitalize on that for the market. So definitely, like I said, be purchasing. If you're looking for stuff right now, now's a great time. I'm buying a lot of things currently just because I'm seeing some fantastic deals, because people do need to turn products. Certain businesses, like my business is self-contained. I don't have any any kind of expenses going out. I have to cover binder POS, so I really got to make like $150 in a month in order to be successful and be able to really make things go forward. So I don't need a ton of income. A ton of income is not really going to help, it's not going to hurt me to lose income this month. Even if I've had to pay $150 this month and not sell anything, I could do that with no problem. It's not an issue to do so, even with the accounts that I've built over the last 6 months. So that's always a factor too, is always in a business setting. February going into halfway through March can be a lot slower. So when you're doing your business planning and when you're assessing those things, be sure that you make sure that you do assess that and understand that and back some money, and make sure that you have that part available, and make sure that you have that all set and ready to go. And once again, be looking to buy. Right now is a great buyer's market currently when it comes down to it, and it really makes it extremely easy to pick up those deals, get the maximized amount, and then when we get to March, you can get your full margins and maybe get your profit margins right off the bat on those particular items. Investments, once again, great time to be picking up investments in February. I always enjoy like the end of January all the way through the beginning of March. This is a great time for me to really capitalize on those Pokemon investments and definitely get them in for a really reasonable price. Businesses have taxes to pay. They have insurances that usually a lot of times come up this time of the year. Mine do. Some companies don't, but our insurance comes up right here in February too. So there's a lot of that stuff happening. We got our employment taxes. We have the business taxes, we have, property taxes, all that stuff's working through. And that's the same for every business and every person in the United States. So that's all a factor when it comes down to preference to where you want to go and what you want to look at. Now's the time, though, to be purchasing. Now is the time to be looking for those good deals. Now's the time to be watching TikTok. They got promotions coming up again. We're going to be getting some coupons. Not as big as before, like Black Friday, but there are going to be some here for Valentine's Day. I believe that they start on the 8th or the 10th. I'm not 100% sure on that, so there are going to be some deals for pickups for investment there. That Pokemon 151 UPC, still a great value overall if you want to do a little bit of work and break those down. And that's a great opportunity also to just be able to get in on that and take that opportunity and really get 151 booster packs and be able to sell them outright. I mean, you can still take that UPC, break it down, sell the parts off, and still make about 20% profit on that particular item with the pricing on it right now. There's still a lot of it out there, a lot of it available, and a lot of opportunities to look for those kind of things. Breakdown products right now are also great. I'm seeing those Charizard EX boxes starting to drop in price now too, so them are coming down, and you can rip those down here and also potentially do that. I haven't done a breakdown on that, but I'm sure a lot of these products, as they age a little bit, the hype and FOMO goes away from them, and the retailers and the places start to look at them. Especially the online sales places will start to either A, break them down themselves, or B, they will start putting them at a discounted price to get them closer to that MSRP or their wholesaling price. And then you can have a really good time of just breaking those down and getting the potential products out of there too, to be able to resell and sell them for a profit. So continue to keep out on those deals, continue to watch those. There's definitely some things coming, but be patient. Have them diamond hands. Yeah, that's just missing no glitch. Yeah, I'll acknowledge Chad here in a minute, but I did see him put that in there. Diamond hands is very important. Take your time. Be patient. There's plenty of time in this market, and this is just typical fluctuations in this market. Modern is especially like this. WotC, you won't see too much of that variation. It won't be as drastic as it will be on the modern side, especially if you're selling bulk, if you're selling modern sealed products and booster packs and things like that. This is a time when you see a slowdown on that modern stuff. The WotC stuff still seems to be continuing to move up pretty consistently or staying steady. We're not seeing a real slowdown on the sales of those particular products, but once again, there's not as many of them available out there. It's not like you're finding sealed booster boxes of WotC every day, but I still think that you'll see a little bit of an insurgence on those also come up in March, as tax return season. Once again, people start making those calculated decisions at that point in time that they can use that tax return money in order to bolster their collections or bolster their investments and really build that at the end of the day. You can really work with that to make things a little bit more easily accessible for yourself and not having to take that out of your expendable money, not having to take that out of the family unit. These are all things that are normally really thought about when it goes down to how people make calculated buys. And this is when those expensive impulse buys start to occur. So Evolving Skies booster boxes might see a little bit of a jump here coming up in March and April. Going through a lot of the different products too, even in the Sun and Moon era, these are times when tag team cards might see a little bit of a jump because people are starting to buy because they have a little bit more expendable income. And that's just going to continue to move right down the chain. And you're going to continue to see certain little items continue to move up in price. And even modern seals, you might see Scarlet and Violet stuff start to kind of spike a little bit because more and more people are purchasing it. And there's not as much of that product out there. So basically, that's what I want to talk about when it comes down to a business and market or a business investment update. Business wise, this is a time to be taking inventory. Really, really, really take inventory of your stock. Do your counts. This is a time where things are slower. You can make those counts. Make sure you got everything in place. Make sure that if you're looking for certain products, now's the time to be looking for it. So even me, I'm on the search for Fusion Strike. I'm on the search for some Chilling Rain. Some of those more popular sets that do extremely well that people are always looking for. Even Evolving Sky singles. I'm looking for deals on those now that the market's kind of slowing down. People will sometimes back out and try to sell them off because they think the economy's slowing down or they think the Pokemon's slowing down. But it's just the fact that people are out of money. I mean, realistically, people are out of money currently. And you have one of two options. Either A, if you haven't, people put it on their credit cards, which is insane to me to be doing your hobby on your credit cards. Please, guys, don't do that. Don't use credit cards as ways to extend your budgets and buy more Pokemon cards. It really isn't useful. There are uses for credit cards. I'm not going to say that there's not. I do use credit cards because like eBay, I get 3% back off on eBay, and certain stores like Target, I get another 2% off at Target, and I buy my products on that card, but I pay that card off immediately. I don't let that income and that amount sit on there. So you can also leverage that a little bit. Just don't get to the point where you're paying the interest on that. Because if you pay the interest on it, you've completely eaten away the actual savings that you made, and sometimes more, especially since a lot of credit cards right now are about 29.99%. So anything that you save on that little bit up front, and if you don't pay it off right away and you try and stretch it to try and get that sale on it, if that's your intention, I wouldn't do that factors, but I would definitely look at the opportunity using your credit card for the cashback. Cashback is great. It's a great leveraging tool to knock a couple more percentage points off of your purchases and really make that dollar go just a little bit further. Sometimes you just need that little bit further amount and it helps you out quite a bit. But definitely be in the buyer's market right now. If you're looking for those obscure things and looking for those things, you can definitely take that opportunity to extend that out. Use that cash back. Look at the cheaper parts in the market right now because there are going to be a lot of people that just need turnaround money. I mean, if they have a brick and mortar, if they have a large store, if they're running with employees, if they've got that kind of stuff, they're definitely going to continue to move product, which is where they start lowering that price to get sales in order to get cash back to be able to pay those expenses and make sure that their businesses stay open through the next couple months. And that's where in the futuristically, if you want to do that, you're starting to ramp up a business or you're starting to ramp up a actual online store or something like that, just keep in mind that in the United States, typically from the end of January to the beginning of March is kind of a dead time for sales. It's like I said, this is where I actually go out vehicle shopping for our business. We're actually looking at picking up a new Transit for our business. And the reason being is that February always has fantastic prices. And this is a great time to pick those up before the tax returns come back, because once tax returns come back, then the prices go back up because people have money. And you can definitely use these things as leveraging tools in your business to be successful and give you a little bit more of a boost on your overall income. So anyways, after saying all that and going through that, just as an update, everything's looking good. Everything's right on course for this year. We're not seeing anything crazy right now. If anything does change incredibly quickly, then we could definitely bring it up. And we'll make sure we bring it up to you in a video form or maybe pop in a live, something like that to get the information across, or in the community. I try and make sure that the community tab, make sure you check out the community posts because I do kind of post information up where we're going for lives, where things are happening in community. Also Discord, I've been trying to post up information and all the different tabs, all the information and things are going on, like deals on that are out there, that kind of stuff. So if you are looking for things, I try and keep that stuff up to date so you guys can find it in an easy to find format and quick to get to. So once again, one thing I do want to say too on the live here, I did have to block someone from the channel, and I hate doing that. I tried having a discussion with him. He kept reposting people are idiots in the market. I know a couple people might have been even seen that. I'm just saying I had to do it. I had also blocked them from Discord and from Instagram. So they kind of went round robin on all the accounts, just bashing people, and it's not a good thing to do. And once again, I'm just going to put a reminder up there. I don't mind good discussion. I have no problem with good discussion. But if you're just going to sit here and call community people members idiots and things like that on posts, you're not going to be in this channel. I don't have time for that. That's not an acceptable practice, and I will try and keep this community as safe as possible when it comes down to that kind of information. If you want to have a good discussion, fine. If you want to call people idiots, I don't have time for it. It's just not going to happen. It won't be a thing that we'll do. So just so you know, there was one person that was banned on several of the sites just because that was their way of doing things, and it's not acceptable. So I took care of the issue, so it's not interfering with the toxicity level in the actual Discord or in the community. But moving forward, I'm going to go ahead and go to the chat as I always do. We're about 15 minutes, a little bit quicker. Like I said, the update wasn't very much because there's really not much going on. We could talk about MetaZoo because I know that's on people's mind too, but I am doing a video, kind of a recap video tomorrow about MetaZoo. So I can touch base on it just a little bit, just the craziness and the weird things that are happening in MetaZoo. I've done a little research myself. If you haven't watched Nick's Strength in Pokemon, is doing a really good job of breaking things down, and I actually took one of his directions and looked into it a different way too, with the with 4chan and some people saying that MetaZoo is being bought. I tried looking into that also, so I'll break that down a little bit tomorrow and what we found on that too, and that way you guys have an idea. But yeah, MetaZoo is just crazy. Of course, bad week not to have a live, of course, the day that I'm leaving town and hoping that I could do a live there, but had a roommate, so I couldn't. It was really interesting that all that stuff broke right then and there. So what do? You can't plan everything that happens, but I did cover a video before I left. I quick recorded one that day before I took off, and had that discussion. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to go through the chat now, just talking about that. I just want to make sure I covered that with you guys, that if you do hear someone got blocked from the channel, they are correct. I did block someone. I just don't have time for people being toxic in this channel, and they can go to other channels. If you don't like Pokemon investing, then go to another channel. Go look at stock market investing. And I don't have to have you sitting here picking on the members of this channel because they do enjoy Pokemon investing. Some of the knowledge of chat, like I said, I see a lot of normal people in here, and thank you so much for coming. iFOMO, once again, thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciated as always. Crazy week. Yeah, it's been a crazy week between the travel. I almost had to be in Madison again tonight because we have a bill going through the state assembly, and we were supposed to have a hearing tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., but they ended up postponing it till next week. So next week, I don't know if I'm planning on being here Tuesday. I might miss things going on Wednesday. It might be leaving Wednesday morning instead, but it's definitely something that could happen, that I could get pulled down to Madison again for legislative reasons. We're trying to get some bills passed in northern Wisconsin here, and we're required to actually attend and be there. We have to have the people there in order to be able to get that stuff through. So that's going to be a little bit interesting to see what happens there. Hopefully we can get the bills passed. They've been something we've been working on for about 6 years. So we're hoping. They got canceled during COVID. We started before COVID. They got postponed during COVID. Then they got shuffled out and reset after COVID. And it's been a fight since COVID to try and get them back in place. So it's definitely something we're working on. But we'll keep you in tune, or keep you in touch on what's going on and if we're going to be here or not. But I'm guaranteeing. I almost guarantee that we're going to be here next Tuesday. So we will be live next Tuesday, as it should be. I might miss Wednesday's video because I won't have time to be up until 2 in the morning doing my editing and then waking up at 4 to go down to Madison. I need to be a little bit more awake than that when we go down. Let's see here. iPhone again. I've been buying like mad, man. Yeah, and I have been too. I've been buying a lot of stuff right now. I'm watching my bank account slowly go down after all the increases I had through November, December, and January. Now I'm watching that go the other way, and it's like, it kind of sucks, but you got to have the product. You got to have the good time to stock up on some investments and definitely take those opportunities currently. Missing no glitch. Once again, thank you so much for coming. I saw your other comment and go by when I was talking about it, but thanks for being in the live, man. Thanks for coming in and saying hi and definitely being here. I always enjoy listening to your advice. It helps me stay focused and motivated. I'm glad to hear that. I try to do that. I try to keep everything positive and try to keep people motivated. And definitely looking at different things. Sometimes looking around different directions and definitely taking a different look at things are definitely good for making you be focused on where you want to be in the hobby. And we're all going to be in different places. We're all going to have different goals. And if we can stay focused on what our goals are, we can definitely have that opportunity for growth and be successful. iPhone once again, Diamond Hands. Yeah, he said it too. Oh, I scrolled down. I don't know. Oh, hold on. That's what happened. I know there's another comment on the other one. Hold on. I gotta go live chat, because otherwise it hides some of the messages. There we go. Now I got them all. You gotta hit the live chat feed, the live chatter, not the top chatter. I miss things. So let's see. We're back to iPhone. Honestly, my sales have been good. Margins right now. I'm bullish on tax season. Yeah, I am too. That's where I'm really loading up for. We got Just Average Jeff. Thanks for joining Just Average Jeff. Thank you for coming in. Like always, greatly appreciated to have you here. He says 30% of working Americans are eligible to file a 1040 easy. I would have, though it was way more. Yeah, and I know that there's a lot of people, most people, I used to always do the 1040 easy until I started having my own businesses and definitely starting to do farm work and, building things. 1040 easy is definitely a great advantage when it comes down to the taxes, just to get them done quick. And if you are looking for that return, then that's a great way to get that return moving a lot faster. So people who are doing 1040 easies definitely have a very good advantage to get things in. They'll be the first ones that usually have the money coming back. They usually takes about 3-4 weeks. That's why I mean, end of February, beginning of March, the first people will be getting those 1040 easies, and that's going returns if they have returns. And that's where you need to be looking or getting in position for if you're looking for that for a business, or if you're trying to sell some of your investments. Let's say you've had investments that have been sitting for 2 to 3 years. Now might be the time to list those and take advantage of that, tax return money to be able to push those and maybe get a little bit more of a premium than what you would have normally done in the regular market. iFOMO Lugia V sells for $100 on TCG Player, and it sells in a PSA 9 for $150. I know, right? So it's just kind of interesting how far that card has actually dropped, but the fact that you can go and get it graded, pay $15 and get $150 out of it, you're definitely getting that price margin that you're looking for on that card opportunity. So yeah, as long as you can hold that 9 and get a 9, you can bump her up just a little bit. 10s, what were 10s going? I mean, the last time I checked, 10s were about 210 still. I haven't looked for a little bit. Are they still, I don't know if they're still above 200. Maybe someone in the chat could look real quick, because I'm just curious to know, are they still holding that 200 plus? I think they are. They were about 250 for a while there. Let's see, iFOMO, Diamond Hands. Yep, now we're back to where we were. Snowgoon, thank you so much for finally coming. I know you've left messages and put chats in, so thank you so much for making it. Greatly appreciated to have you here. iFOMO, reinvest. I feel better than you. Don't use your hard-earned money. Yeah, exactly. I tried to do everything internally. Now last year was my goal, was everything was out of the business. So I was selling things, I was flipping things, I was doing rip and chips, I was selling sealed product, and all that money was going back into that, and then taking that money and reinvesting it into my actual sealed investment. So that's how I was fueling my sealed investment, was the fact that we were going through and doing the sales of bulk, selling packs, selling sealed products, and then using that to fuel my investment. So I didn't take any external money last year, which is a big change. I was always kind of supplementing. I'd be at Walmart and I'd just buy something out of my personal account, and it just kept fueling my investments that way too. Large investments, of course, I was always kind of pulling money out of my investment side, and also, I make enough money most of the time that I can be able to pull it and buy a booster or a case of booster boxes, no problem, even out of the personal. But this year we really wanted to shift those gears and really try and change this into an actual business front. Once again, I don't want the overhead. I'm trying to stay overhead free. I don't want loans. I don't want mortgages. I don't want the cost of insurance and brick and mortar and things like that. But we're definitely working towards breaking profitability out of here for the time I work, at least. Try and cover some of that cost of me working it and covering that cost. Let's see. Missing no glitch. Do you like the Pokemon tins? Do you think the Pokemon tins are a waste of space? I see them on sale from time to time. I'm better off opening those to store the packs in a more compact place. That's what I've talked about quite a bit. Missing no glitch. Depending on the tins. So if you're looking at like Celebrations, Crown Zenith, even coming up here, Shining Fates tins, those actual holiday tin style ones, I typically leave those sealed because the value of those goes up rather well with just a sealed tin. While if you're looking at like the C23 tins or even the Pokeballs, with them not being specific, I break them open because I hate taking airspace for that tin. There's a lot of airspace. They're really hard to stack. They're really hard to find, a container that really works for them unless you get the original box that they come in. There's a lot of things that just, to me, don't really work all that well. And overall, I think that most of them you're better off breaking down, because then sometimes, so for example, I'm going to use, where's it at? These. And I talked about these ones in a recent video. These tins that came in here, these Umbreon tins. The Evolving Skies inside of that tin literally buys the tin, and then you get the Fusion Strike and Brilliant Stars are all profit on those. Especially if you're ripping and shipping them or selling them on like TikTok or places like that, then you could definitely take that advantage of just ripping the tin open, selling the Evolving Skies if you want, and be able to capitalize and keep those, even if you want to keep the Fusion Strike and Brilliant Stars packs, they're still more valuable. Or you sell the Fusion Strike and the Brilliant Stars pack and keep one Evolving Skies. You sell those 3. So there's definitely opportunities in those tins to have profitability. And the funny thing is that the tin itself is selling for $21.98, and you can't find it. You can find it for $19 to $22 is really the price range that you can find on that tin. But the packs inside of there again are selling higher than that. You can make another, $7 to $8 on top of that just by selling the packs out of there. So it gives you an opportunity to tear down the tin and make more money without taking up the airspace. Because there's only 4 packs in that tin, and that tin is huge. And there's just a lot more stuff you could put in that space. One thing I'm going to put out there, too, I know that Slabbed is going. I saw that they put the announcement up today also. So I think the Slab podcast is going also right now. When you get to the end of this, I do have the redirect set to go to them. So you should be able to see that and be able to jump right into the Slabbed podcast when this is all finished. I just want to let you guys know that this is kind of going into theirs when it's done. It should redirect you at the end, but I know there's probably a lot of people, like I just seen Chef popping up to say what up and show you some love. Yep, thank you, Pokey Chef. Thank you so much for stopping in. I'll say that real quick while I'm here. But yeah, I know he's probably kicking over to the Slab podcast. It's just they went, and it is what it is. So I only have one day, and here I am. Just average Jeff. Don't take too much longer to buy our tax return has already been filed, so we will be getting it in 2-3 weeks. Yeah, that's what I mean. 3 to 4 weeks I always say is typical for tax. The first people will get it faster, so if you filed it right on like February 1st or 2nd, you're going to get it back probably that last week in February. First week in March are definitely where we're going to be sitting on that. And so that's what I'm saying. We really have 3 weeks, 4 weeks to really bulk up, take the advantages of these sales that are potentially rolling around right now and take those advantages. And then by March, beginning of March, you're probably going to see some increases and have some more liquidity in the actual hobby to be able to sell these things out. Let's see, where are we at? Now we're down to iFOMO. There are other channels that welcome toxicity, let them go there. And that was my thought too. I just want to tell you that if someone says they banned them on a Discord or whatever, that's the reasoning being is that they were, being obnoxious, putting up multiple posts. I warned them 3 times that if they continue to do it, I was going to ban them. And they decided they would continue to do it and move on. And so, yeah, they got banned or blocked or whatever they call it on YouTube. They're on my block list. So it is what it is. Some people are going to be that way. I just want to be upfront with everybody and transparent that I did do it. It is what it is. If they want to be obnoxious and call people idiots, I just don't have the time and the toxicity in this community. Log Bro, thank you so much for stopping in. Great to see you. I didn't get my promo cards signed. I was going to see them at Collecticon this year. Which one? Who is going to sign your promo cards? So yeah, let me know who you're going to have sign at your at Collecticon. Kind of curious. iFOMO tins are space. They're very spacey. They take up a ton of space. A lot of box products too, like a V box. There's 4 boxes or 4 packs in there, and it's gigantic. And then shipping kills you on those boxes too, because they're an oddball shape. They're really airy. They're bulky. Yeah, I hate shipping them things out. I'd rather just tear them down and sell the packs, because even the money you save on the shipping makes up the difference for those things. Empty Pokemon tins are a waste of space. I sell them for almost nothing just to get it to move them. And that's what I do too. I typically just give them away. I take them to school. We've got some Pokemon events, and Even the centers like them because they put like the classrooms like to put like crayons and markers inside them. They work great for that. So I donate them to the school. I donate them. I take them to the we have the trade nights and things like that, and I give them to them. Just get rid of them because they're Pokeballs are cool because kids love the Pokeballs. They're great for their rooms. They love having them. iFOMO, you do you. I'll hold the 40. Sounds good, iFOMO. I sold both my Lugia VP set 10s for 280. Okay, I knew that they were 250 plus, I thought, for sure. I just didn't know if they were still holding that price because a lot of those alternate arts are dropping in price a little bit, but some of them are starting to go back the other way again. Once again, I think people are kind of moving out of tag teams and are starting to come back to Sword and Shield a little bit. We're going to see a lot of bouncing, I think, between Sword and Shield and Sun and Moon for a while here. People are really shifting back and forth. And that's going to be a continuation here moving forward. It's not a bad thing. I think it's great. It keeps ratcheting up both markets, but we will see a little bit of a drop whenever they leave the market. It's just, hopefully, the market doesn't drop below the previous low. And that's what I like to talk about. When you look at graphs, watch that ratcheting effect. It's good and it's healthy for a market to go up and down. It just should. I mean, a straight line market up is a design factor for failure. If it goes straight up, it's got to come down at some point. There has to be some kind of correction, and I'd rather look for products that have that slow ratchet effect, I call it, where you have a high and then you have a low, but the low is higher than the last low, and then the next high is higher than the last high, and you continually see that little zigzag going up. Perfect example of it are the Sword and Shield Evolving Skies ETBs. They've done the same thing for 1 year. They just kind of keep ratcheting up, and each time they go up, $5 or $3-4 higher than the last high, and by the end of the year, you're sitting there already looking at a 25% gain on those ETBs over 1 year. Even though they were reprinted a ton, they still kept ratcheting up slowly over time. Moving on to the next one, iFOMO. Auctions mess up the MSRP. Yeah, they do. Let's see. Yeah, PokeChef, like I said, thanks for stopping. I'm sure you're already out. Snowgoon. Since this is before my time, are Evolving Skies ETBs a good investment? I noticed that there are two types of the same ETB. So Evolving Skies has two types of the ETBs. Each one presents 4 different evolutions. Both of them have been performing pretty similarly, which is not uncommon because each one of them has fan favorite evolutions on them. So overall, they've been moving fairly consistently up. Are they a good investment? If you're new to the hobby, I would say that they're still a good investment opportunity. They continue to move up, and if they continue to just keep moving at 10 to 20% every year, they're going to end up being a decent investment, and Evolving Skies is not slowing down. Or not, I shouldn't say not slowing down, but it's not, the growth on some of these backwards projects are doing extremely well. Pack pricing continues to just slightly move up. ETBs slightly move up. All these little side product things like the, I always call them checkout lane blisters, a little plastic blister with a promo card. Those are slowly moving up. 3-pack blisters are moving up slowly. All the other stuff are slowly moving up and slowly going up in price, but the booster box is kind of stagnated. It's just because of the price. And these products are still price per pack under that booster box pricing. I think what you're going to see is a lot of those products start to catch up to that booster box pricing. They may slow down, or it may cause the booster box pricing to go up again. So there's a couple of things that may happen at that point. As we get closer to it, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how overall that plays out. It's always fun to see how the market actually reacts to it. But if you weren't in the hobby, when they first came out, when we had that reprint, even like myself, we were picking them up at Walmart for, $40 or $39.99, sometimes $44.99, whatever they, depending on what Walmart and pricing you got them at. If you weren't available for that pricing and you didn't get in on that, do I still think that they're a good investment right now around that $78 to $80 range? Yeah, I still think they're fairly good. Watch TikTok though too. If you can get a coupon for theirs, sometimes they'll still be listed for around $80, $78. And you can use that 20% coupon with free shipping, and you can knock another 20% off of them by buying a few of them. So that's always an option too, to try and save you a few bucks also. Just little tidbits and tricks you can do. But yeah, I definitely think that the ETBs, anything Evolving Skies, I think is going to be a good investment, especially three to 5 years down the line. I think anything in Evolving Skies is going to do extremely well. Let's see. Gimbo Slice. Thank you for joining in, Gimbo. Greatly appreciated. Let's see. Yeah, it's a better. Yeah, strong set exactly. Snowgoon. Is there a difference between the ETBs? There's a Flareon Jolteon ETB, and then there's an Espeon Sylveon ETB. Like I said, there's not a big difference between them. They got different sleeves. They've got different dividers. They got a different design on the outside. But in general, there's still the same packs inside of it. There's no promo in the Sword and Shield ones, so you're not looking at a different promo like we do in Scarlet and Violet. So you're not chasing a better promo or a more desirable promo. So there's nothing in them except for the sleeves, the dividers, and then the 8 packs of Evolving Skies, and then the outside design. So I'm not too concerned overall. They seem to be following and tracking each other very similarly, which is not surprising. I think that that's going to be the case because if anything, the price per pack is going to keep driving them up anyways. And that's another factor to that is eventually the booster boxes are going to move. I don't think it's going to be this year, but I definitely see Evolving Skies being $1,000 set in the next 3 to 5 years for sure. As that continues to go up, it will jump really fast. Let's see. Going through, Northwood knows. I think the dividers are different, but same amount of packs. Yeah, same amount of packs. Dividers are different, sleeves are different, and the outside of the box is different. Otherwise, they're identical to each other. Oh, let's see. Gimbo Slice. Evolving Skies ETBs have been $70 on Walmart for weeks now. Doesn't seem to sell out. Yeah, I've seen that, and I'm always cautious about buying. It's like buying them on Amazon. I always feel like you're setting yourself up for a scam. That's just my opinion. You know, I feel safer on TCG Player or a lot of these other, you know, eBay or TikTok even, because there's at least some safeguards in there. Walmart customer service on a return for, especially for a Pokemon product, because if you read their stuff, any Pokemon sales are final, even if it's fraudulent. Trying to get them to replace it on a fraudulent purchase of a Pokemon card or Pokemon products is extremely difficult. So yeah, I get really cautious about buying stuff on Walmart and Amazon when it comes down to Pokemon products because the return process is just really difficult. TikTok, eBay, and TCG Player all have safeguards in place that if you do purchase them, even Toad and Troll, all of which have really good safeguards inside of them. That if you do get a fraudulent product, a couple pictures, send it off to the actual salespeople there. They do take care of that fairly quickly. And it's amazing how fast they do act upon the person that sent fraudulent things. So I've seen some things happen on that part of it. Gimbo Slice Fusion Strike sold out from Pokemon Center today. I saw that. So now I'm watching the Fusion Strike price, and I was going to pull it up because I did not get a chance to do that. So I bought, like I told you, I bought 6 more booster boxes from Pokemon Center last week because I was thinking we were getting close to the end. Now it's going out of rotation. I'm going to look up. I was concerned that was going to happen fairly quick. I don't even know if it sold out so much as that just plain and simply just got taken out and shipped. Yeah, look at the price today. Look at the price today. So yeah, the price went from $147 on TCG Player to $152. So yeah, the price jumped like I was wondering if it would. So now I was going to be curious to watch how much that's going to go. It's not as high as its high value back in November on here, but it's definitely catching it fast with just one day of sales. So yeah. And actually the next ones that are listed here that are up for sale are actually $164.99. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see. I was kind of curious once that happened, what would happen online, and that's exactly what I figured would probably happen. So definitely, like I was saying last week, get them Fusion Strike, because once they sell out, I had a feeling that price is going to shoot. Brilliant Stars, guys. Brilliant Stars and Astral Radiance, Lost Origins, and Silver Tempest. Be watching those, especially if you think the market's going to go, or all of them safe investments at that price right now. Astral Radiance you can get cheaper. Lost Origins you still get a little bit cheaper in Silver Tempest. But Brilliant Stars getting really hard to beat that $144.99 MSRP price on Pokemon Center. So definitely be watching that and taking advantage of that before it spikes too. Be interesting to see. I don't think that it's going to get another reprint, guys. I personally, I think Pokemon's too deep in the Scarlet and Violet, and we're going to see a lot of what we saw with the tag team sets at the end of the the Sun and Moon era there, where tag team, our team up got canceled. It never got its last reprint. Cosmic Eclipse got its last one canceled because they were so far in the Sword and Shield and so busy with other things that they don't really concern themselves too much about it. Hidden Fate's got quite a few reprints even at the end of its life. Even Unbroken Bonds and Unified Minds, we didn't see a lot of big reprints of those sets. So the last 4 sets of the era really tend to be forgotten. The only exception of that was XY, where they just beat the crap out of Roaring Skies and XY Evolutions. So, yep, that's what we're looking at there. So it definitely shot up in price just today. And next ones for sale are going up next too. So let's take a look here. Snowgoon, thank you. I just got into Pokemon when Paradox Rift came out. Well, welcome to the hobby. Awesome. Glad to see some new people still coming in. Greatly appreciated to see you guys in here. And yeah, I mean, if you've got questions, feel free. You can always message me on Instagram too. You can always get a hold of me on there. Email too. You can email me or just comment on a video. I definitely have no problem talking to you guys and working through stuff. Let's see. Gimbal Slice. I might snag some more Brilliant Stars soon. I keep saying it, but I should do it before. Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if we're going to get reprints. Technically we could, and I don't want to say that it's impossible. I just find it very unlikely at this point in time that they would be reprinting Sword and Shield. They did that last booster box reprint of Lost Origins and Silver Tempest there. They did an ETB reprint of Astral Radiance in there. They did another booster box reprint of Brilliant Stars right there. I just don't think that they're going to do more, personally. It's my own opinion. It's my personal opinion. But even so, with the performance of those sets, even if you bought them, let's say you bought Brilliant Stars on Pokemon Center for $144.99. Are you really going to regret that decision in 2 years down the road? When we know we're safe of reprints, when we know all that product's done, are you going to regret that purchase and think that you're going to be behind in even a year, 2, 3 years down the road? I absolutely don't think so. I think that set's going to be another one. It's kind of being netted by that MSRP, and once that MSRP breaks free and it's sold out on Pokemon Center, there's nothing holding it back. Just like we've seen now with Chilling Reign. Chilling Reign shot. The second that Pokemon Center sold out, it shot. Fusion Strike now shooting straight up now that it's sold out. So I think that that's going to be a common scenario. Astral Radiance is the only one I don't think is going to shoot when that MSRP is gone. Even Lost Origins now is back up that MSRP margin on TCG Player. It keeps hitting 140, 145, 140, 145. And I've got a feeling that the second that it's sold out on Pokemon Center, that one's going to shoot also. I could definitely see that one going up to, that 100 and 170, 180 really fast when it's sold out on Pokemon Center. Let's see. Snowgoon, what's the projected price points for some of these booster boxes? Is the profit margin much more? I guess if you're talking about, so like we're just talking about now, Snowgoon, when you look at the booster boxes, I'm always looking for undervalued booster boxes and how things are performing. And when you sit there and take a look at Fusion Strike, you take a look at Chilling Reign, both of which have just recently sold out on Pokemon Center. Pokemon Center is still retaining stock in every one of these sets. Now that they're out of rotation, either one thing of two happened. Either one, they actually did sell out on Pokemon Center, but the thing is that Pokemon Center will do is they will take that product and go and put it back into distribution. So they'll take it out of their warehouse and they'll kick it to distribution when the set's going out of rotation, and then let distribution send it to all of the LGSs. MJ Holding will get some of it. All this stuff will kind of flood back into the market and go all different directions. Booster boxes will typically go the LGS direction, while the other sealed products such as ETBs and that will go to MJ Holding to go to Walmarts and stuff. So we may see a little bit of a flush of ETBs come out on Walmart here in the next couple weeks, and that's historically what we've seen. Chilling Reign ETBs were sold out. They didn't exist. I didn't look to see where their Fusion Strike ETBs on Pokemon Center. I don't know. If there were, I would assume that probably in the next 3 weeks, we'll probably see a flush of them at Walmart for whatever's left in stock. They tend to do that as we get to the end of the rotation. So they will be out of rotation, I believe, in April. So they'll be out of rotation. So then we know that there will be no more reprints. We know that the set will more than likely be completely whatever's in the secondary market or out in the market is what's left. And then all bets are off. Then you can start sitting there trying to make your investments and know that they're a little bit more secure and that reprints aren't going to come from the company to push them back. Taking a look at iFOMO. So happy Sword and Shield is over. It's going to do very well in the future. Absolutely agree. I think that it's going to be an absolute banger era overall, especially that last half of it. I even think from Shining Fates on is going to be a real banger of a year or era of Pokemon cards. Let's see. Brown CLM, thank you so much for stopping in. Even if you're late, you still got time. We still got 15 minutes left. So thank you for dropping in as always. Thank you very much. Gimbo Slice, I think they're done now too. Zenith, Lost Origins, and Silver Tempest was it. I think so too. Crown Zenith isn't moving fast enough. I don't see them wanting to print more Crown Zenith. I don't think that they'll have any value in doing so. So I definitely think that I personally am to the point where I think we are done seeing reprints of Sword and Shield. And I can never say that with 100% effect until we see the end of the rotation. Once the end of rotation happens and that goes through, then you know that everything is going to be done printing. We usually don't see any reprints. The only thing you get an opportunity at that point, like Fusion Strike, is to grab stuff from the stores, or if you have distributor access, potentially grab it from distributor also. So there might be those opportunities if they did clean the warehouse out. Now it's going in out of rotation. Pika Pika, thank you so much for joining in. Thanks for coming. Always glad to see you in the chats. iFOMO, I regret opening the Chilling Reign. Yeah, you know, a lot of people, it was always one of them funny sets. Chilling Reign always kind of was a puzzling one because I remember like Jake at Pokenomics, myself, who was it? Pokemon Knowledge, I believe. There's a bunch of us who were saying that Chilling Reign was a steal of a deal. If you were buying it at $78 to $80 a booster box, we were buying it up as much as we could. And there was a lot of people saying that that was just dead money. You weren't going to see any value in it for 5-10 years, if ever. You know, it's an overhyped set with no, you know, with Chilling Pain, hard pull rates, blah, blah, blah. Look at how far that set has come. And, you know, in such a short time frame, too. We were talking the end of 2021, and here we are, the end of 2023. So in 2 years, we've seen those booster boxes, 2 years, 2 months, seen those booster boxes 100% on price. That is really crazy for how cheap they were just 2 years ago. Buying them almost half price of MSRP. You know, some people are buying at 75, 78. I bought some at 78, $80, and I picked up, you know, 5 cases of Chilling Reign for that price, which is a fantastic deal, I thought. And just look at the gains that we're still seeing on products today. It's absolutely crazy to think of the amount of gains that we are continuing to see in the Pokemon hobby, even on modern products. It just continues to go up so fast and so consistent that it's really great to see how strong this hobby still is. Even in a little bit tougher economic times, we're still seeing good retention, good growth. People are continuing to open. People are loving to open products. And overall, it just seems to be a great space for a lot of people to just be able to see these products continue to move up really well in price. Let's see. Going down. Ernie, thank you so much for joining. Glad to see you in the chat. As always, thank you for coming in. iFOMO, I'm no good with sealed. The voice. You need to watch my video on actually putting that stuff away there, iFOMO. Get a tote, put it in the corner, seal it up, and forget about it. That's the way to go. All right. Let's see. Ernie, Pika Pika, hi, iFOMO, yep. Hi, thank you for coming in. Greatly appreciate to see you in the chats. I think you're correct on Crown Zenith is done as Crown Zenith contains. Yeah, exactly. I think, I believe Crown Zenith is like Shining Fates. They have some E, and Shining Fates had some, what was it, D, They had some D cards in Shining Fates, and they had some E cards in Shining Fates. So now that E's going out of rotation, Shining Fates is completely dead. Battle Styles, Fusion Strike, Evolving Skies, Celebrations, I think, is dead in that too. And like you said, part of Crown Zenith is already technically dead. So yeah, it's interesting how rotation sometimes does that with those holiday sets, that it actually kills the rotation. And I think that the new one, Paldean Fates, I was looking, Paldean Fates is also split too, because they have, I believe they have some G and, what do they got? They got G and H inside of there. So once again, they're kind of a split rotation when it comes down to it. Let's see. I FOMO. In my opinion, yeah, it's probably safer. If you can't keep it closed, definitely just stick to flipping. Snowgoon just bought a Fusion Strike booster box for $135. Figured I might as well, since Mew is one of my daughter's favorite Pokemon. Absolutely. If you can still get them for that price, go for it. I know that there's still some deals out there, and you can find Fusion Strike. You can still find a lot of these booster boxes, you know, under the TCG. TCG player is not the end-all, be-all of buying Pokemon products. It's a good reference. It's a good place to kind of get a feel for where things are. It's amazing how many people will buy things on TCG player when they are cheaper other places. You know, like seeing Brilliant Stars sell at $183 on TCG player, but it's still available in Pokemon Center. I mean, why would you do that when you can buy it somewhere else with free shipping? You know, there's all these things that occur when it comes down to it, but TCG player is a great reference. It gives you a good place to where people are currently buying things, and you can see a reference, but you can definitely look around. Sometimes eBay, a great source. You can buy things on auction and be able to snipe things for cheaper than MSRP. Sometimes the buy it now pricing is cheaper than MSRP. I use like Craigslist. I've actually picked up quite a few booster boxes way under market. And once again, it's just keeping your eye open and being vigilant. It's okay to watch TCG player, but it's not necessarily the best place to be buying from, just because they charge 13%. And sometimes if you can go to like Facebook Marketplace, a lot of times has some really good pricing on there. Also, PokeWorld 2.0, great place on Facebook to be able to find people that have references that have really good sales on these products. Once again, they don't need to pay the 13% because they're selling directly to you. They just pay goods and services, and that's a lot cheaper than paying that 13% to TCG player. And that's a great opportunity right there for them to get into that. So, and I'm sorry if I seem like I'm touching my face a lot. All the snow's gone, and I have mold allergies, so it's like my eyes are itchy, my skin's itchy. I need snow, or I need the grass to green up and be done with it. So it seems like if I'm touching my face a lot, it is literally because it just itches because of the current environment here in northern Wisconsin. It can't make up its mind if it wants to be summer or winter. I FOMO. So what is going to happen 10 years from now when people realize that the regular holo in modern were barely great? I know, I was thinking the same thing. As crazy as it sounds, you look at the actual populations of just the holos in a lot of the sets, it's extremely low. Like I was looking at the Lucario. There's a Lucario out of Fusion Strike. If you look at the population on that Lucario holo, it's very, very, very low. Like, I think there's maybe 380 of those Lucario holos graded. So, yeah, exactly. What happens when people come back and realize that none of those holos are graded? And, you know, just like we're seeing with WotC, trying to go back and grade them in 10 years is extremely difficult because now people don't even really sleeve holos. They don't. They're just not worth the sleeve because the value right now is so low at like 25, 15, 20 cents. There's no value in doing that. So you're right, absolutely right, that we could definitely see these holos be the low population that nobody's actually looking at. So it's a good call, and I've actually been kind of looking at it because I was looking. I had some bulk, and there was like 6 or 7 Lucario holos inside of the bulk that I purchased. And I was thinking about that. I looked it up because it's a really cool holo. I really do like it. I think it's a really clean looking holo in Fusion Strike, but there's no population to it at all. And I think there's like 100 or 380 some graded, and I think that there was like 110 PSA 10s of that particular card. So very low pop, question is that if you do grade it and you go through the process, you're taking a huge risk or potentially looking at a 10 to 15 year gamble before you see actual value out of those particular items. Let's see. Going through, where we at? Snowgoon, I agree. TikTok had some good deals. The box was 123, but 135 after taxes. People rely on TCG Player too much. And like I said, I don't necessarily buy much from TCG Player. I use it as a reference just because everybody knows TCG Player. Once again, when you're referencing things, I've referenced things using Pokédata because at least Pokédata likes to take eBay sales and mix in the pricing from TCG Player so you can see the different graphs. But a lot of times people don't like that source as much as TCG Player because everybody uses TCG Player, right from Danny Phantom all the way down the line to most PokeTubers. They all use TCG Player. So that's where a lot of times I just get my pricing and use that as my baselines for everything, and then I'll go on the hunt. Typically, I don't buy from TCG Player because you can find these things with lower commission rates at a lower price because people are compensating on there. A lot of times they're a little inflated. I always say they're about 8 to 10% inflated because people are inflating the price on TCG Player in order to be able to make money and actually make profit on it, or at least break even for what the market price is on it. So yeah, I do agree. People rely too much on TCG Player, but it's a quick reference. And so everybody just kind of uses it as a reference point when it comes down to their checking numbers and where things are at. I FOMO Emerald Haven on TCG Player has some minty Mew cards with pictures if you're interested. So, okay. Let's see. Gimbo Slice. English 151 sealed products. How do you rank booster bundles, ETBs, and UPCs? Which do you prioritize? I've been prioritizing the bundles. I'm being honest, and I've said that a couple times. Even the last investment video, I talked about bundles. You look at them for price per pack. They're the cheapest off the line. They're the cheapest to buy at MSRP at off the shelf. Price per pack, they are the cheapest item that you can get. Number two part of it is that the holiday sets. Now, I specifically talked about the holiday set ones because the holiday set ones, they don't retract. They go up. Even they seem to accelerate on the pre-orders. Like now, even the Paldean Fates is running like $55 right now for them things on pre-order. But I've been really prioritizing the bundles. Number one. The number one reason is the space. Those bundles are a lot smaller than ETB. You can almost buy 2 of those bundles for the equivalence of 1 ETB, and you get more packs. You end up almost with 3 more packs. They take up, even those 2 bundles that are equivalent packs in price, take up half the footprint of the ETB, so I can pack a lot more of them. And plus, if you buy them in a case, the case is very, very compact, and you're getting a lot of packs inside of there. And then I look at the resale value futuristically, even versus booster boxes too. We talked about that on the last investment video, and why I like that is because you can stay very, very cheap and still make a lot of money on them 6-pack bundles versus a booster box where people get away from that, spontaneous purchase when they go over $500. When a booster box gets over $500, let's be honest, you analyze that purchase, you think about that purchase. It's not just a I want to buy a booster box, so I'm going to go buy a booster box. No, you consider it and you look through it and you definitely take your time making that decision and you plan for that purchase. And that's a big factor is that these booster bundles then would give someone an advantage for liquidity because even if a booster box goes to $1,000, these booster bundles are still going to be around that $200, $150 to $200 for the same price value. Are people more likely to spend $150 or $1,000 on a product to get what they want? Really thing to consider. Then the ETBs, of course, I do stack up on the holiday set ETBs, the perfect one. 151's a perfect example. Paldean Fates, I've also bought two packs or 2 boxes of ETBs also, so I got 20 ETBs in storage for those for my investment. And then the UPCs are kind of the last thing. Celebrations UPCs did extremely well. But overall, the UPCs aren't as well perceived, especially I think since Charizard UPC really gave people a bad taste in their mouth in a way. I think that a lot of people felt like they got burned on that UPC, and even it's affecting the Pokemon 151 UPC in a way. I think people were really hesitant to really spend a lot of money because they are always thinking of that reprint or that there's going to be more of that product. And plus they see a lot of ads, if you follow TikTok or you follow Instagram sales markets and even Facebook, they start talking about huge restock of this UPC, and it really seems to hamper their overall performance and keep them down for a long period of time. ETBs do really well as long as we don't get reprints. 6-pack bundles, definitely the better option in my opinion overall when it comes down to investment currently, especially on holiday sets. Brown CLM. I use TCG Player and eBay last sold for my purchase price points. Yeah, and if you do Brown CLM, check out Pokedata. If you don't use Pokedata, it's a great site because it does the exact same thing, but it puts them where you don't have to open up two sites and go back and forth. And you can also see the PSA if it's a card or something. You can also see PSA pricing and CGC pricing of a CGC 10. PSA, I think 10, 9, and 8. They show all the pricing of that. So you can really get a good assessment on where you're at on those particular products with Pokedata.io. Not sponsored. I just use it a lot, and I do enjoy it because it gives me really quick references when I'm trying to make decisions. Gimbal Slice, same, yep. Ernie, what do you think about shifting slab positions into sealed for the time being as mechanisms to reduce downside risk during the current market? I have been. I talked about my business video, and when I talk about, business updates and what we've done, this year I have really slowed down on the graded side and shifted more towards the, especially for investment, towards sealed and singles rather than going after graded. Number one, getting a grading source or a source for graded cards is getting to be extremely difficult. There's so many people in the grading space now that when, 2 years ago, when you were one of the only few in there, it was easy to source cards and people were willing to sell cards and you could really source things and get that done, get what you're looking for. But now there's so many people that have realized that market, and we can see how many graded cards are going through again, how much sales there are, how much volume there is. It's getting harder and harder to source cards at a reasonable price. It's getting very difficult to do so, unless you get something like that Lugia, which has some opportunity, or you really find the obscure things that are hard to find. I mean, those are all things that are factors overall. But yeah, I've been shifting a lot more towards sealed product and singles than I have been into shifting the slab positions. Plus, I'm concerned that we are continually, and I mean continually, hearing issues about grading, whether it's PSA damaging the corners, or you have CGC with openable slabs that pop open clean. Beckett is really the one that we really don't hear a lot of issues. I've heard their customer service sucks, but, that kind of is what it is. But people don't have really any real issues with the overall grading on it or the actual slabs. So, it comes down to how many issues do you have with each grading company before you break the camel's back? That's the real question that I would be concerned with. I'm not saying it's going to, and like I've even talked about, do I think the grading's going to completely go away and be destroyed completely? No. But you get that consumer doubt rolling around, and the more people that have consumer doubt and hear about these videos and see these things that have happened, really get hard for people to want to purchase or spend as much money on a slab, knowing that, a CGC slab could have been broken open and a card replaced. Or, you buy a PSA slab and it might have damaged cards inside of it that actually got damaged by PSA. My Lugia got damaged by PSA. I looked at the inputting video or the picture, and I looked at the card that got an 8, and it had damage on the same corner. And the problem is that's just it. Luckily I had was going to send it in. I was going to regrade it. I went back and forth on it for a long period of time. And, I went for the refund on it because I saw the damage was occurred by them, which means I was never going to improve that grade to the 10 that it should have been when I sent it. And so you hear that downside, and you continually hear that downside. Like you said, it keeps creating some more risk. And to me, sealed and singles gives me more flexibility right now, to where either A, I can hold it, B, there's opportunities to break things down. There's, I do TikTok, so I can flip or sell and flip packs on TikTok too. So I can buy my overages from wholesale or as low pricing as I can, and then sell the overages to keep that zero cost on my shelf, which is what I'm always trying to do, is have zero cost basis on my shelf. but have, liquidity inside of my business side of things to keep the money flowing in on that direction. All right, so we're going into overtime now. We're 5 minutes in overtime, so I got one more question here, or one more statement from Brown CLM. We'll take a look at that one. And yeah, I'll just answer your last one, Brown CLM. Yeah, definitely check out PokeData. If you haven't done so, it's a great platform. Just use your Google account, sign into it, and that way you can get the portfolio function. And you can really use that to your advantage. Brown CLM. I like 3-pack blisters of certain sets in XY, Sun and Moon, and Sword and Shield base set, or Sword and Shield sets. 3 reasons. Not all people can afford a booster box. They really can't be weighed, and it's cheap to ship. Exactly. And that's, like I said, that's why I like those booster bundles too. Because they're very reasonable to ship, because they're small. They're way more affordable than a booster box. And that's what I'm saying. If you're starting out in investing, it's easy to go buy, pay $30 for a booster bundle. If you just want to start, a brand new person in investing, let's say you walked into this space today, and you wanted to get into some kind of start putting stuff away for a futuristic investment. Booster bundles are another one, extremely cheap to walk in on. You can buy for even a price of the cheapest booster box right now. You can put 4 of those on the shelf. So once again, it's a great opportunity to just kind of build up that investment and really get that opportunity. So you can get 3 of them for the price of the cheapest booster box, but 4 of them, you're getting 4 of them for around $100. So realistically, you're doing extremely well, and you're getting a little bit more product. You're not as much as a booster box, but overall, futuristically, I look at the liquidity of items too. I've been doing a lot more assessment on liquidity as this market continues to change. How liquid can I remain? How can I move things quicker? What's going to sell better in 10 years when the price of, Evolving Skies is $1,000 a booster box, and the other products, even an ETB, is selling for around $300 to $400 or $250, whatever they come out to be. I'm just being whatever. I'm throwing a number out there. When it gets to that point, where are people more likely to buy, the cheaper item or the booster box? Well, if they're getting 6 packs and they get a nice little booster bundle, the only thing I don't like about booster bundles, and I will say, is that they're not as presentable as an ETB or a booster box. People like the look of booster boxes in collections. I do have, like the built-in battle boxes and stuff like that, but they're not quite as presentable as the actual booster boxes or ETBs. The ETBs definitely look the best for display. Booster boxes have that familiarity to it that people just see them, especially collectors, people that enjoy the hobby, see booster boxes and they just automatically are drawn to them. They're an eye catcher for which booster boxes you have. If I move to the side, you can see that I got the booster boxes down there, and people really do get that look, that feeling that their familiarity to it, and that's always a factor also. But when you look for price per pack for starting out and you look at the opportunities of it, 3-pack blisters, another one. They've done extremely well. They've gone up really well on their own. They seem to be really sought after, especially as they go out. And also check your Walmarts. I just picked up 4 Darkness Ablaze 3-pack blisters today at my Walmart. So go to the 3-pack blisters on the shelf. Look through the boxes, because the MJ Holding guy is just randomly sticking them in there. So I did get 4 of those actually inside of there also. So yeah, there's a lot of things going on. Key, thank you so much for coming. We're just closing up, but thanks for stopping in. We're in overtime now. We usually start about 8. We start at 8 p.m. and go till 9 p.m. That's my schedule right now for the live here. But yeah, well, thank you for stopping in. Greatly appreciated. Nice professional thumbnail. Yeah, I started using Canva on talking to Pokemon Wonder. He actually said he uses Canva, so I actually started using Canva, and it's a lot simpler to use, a lot quicker, and to me, they look a lot better than my Photoshop thumbnails. So I definitely think I'm going to stick with that route. It turned out really nice. All right, Brown CLM, thank you. Yeah, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for the discussion. Like I said, you put up some really good points with I forgot about the 3-pack blisters again. I've talked about them before. And once again, they are a great option. I know that they've done extremely well. They're easy to ship because you can almost put them in a bubble mailer sometimes with 2 pieces of cardboard, which makes the shipping extremely cheap. And yeah, their prices continue to move up too pretty steadily. We've seen some really good increases on them and moving up. If you're looking, like I said, check your. Seems like MJ Holding is still cleaning some stuff out, so definitely check like those like that. Check the checkout lane blisters too, because I had someone say down in Eau Claire that they found Vivid Voltage, Darkness Ablaze, and Rebels Clash inside of their target. They were in the checkout lane blisters, and they found them inside the line of them. So I was going to go check mine. I didn't see that. I didn't look. But overall, yeah, there's definitely some great opportunities and some things in there also that you could look at to nab and take advantage of that while MJ Holdings cleaning out the warehouse. So other than that, guys, like I said, I'm going to call it quits. I'm about 10 minutes over. Yeah, and Canva is awesome. Thank you, Pikachu, for throwing that up there. Yeah, Canva is awesome. It makes it very simple. They got some really good templates, so you can just do some quick modifications and make some very decent, definitely some very decent thumbnails. So I'm really happy with the recent thumbnails that are coming out. They look good, and they're a lot less work than dealing with Photoshop. So overall, guys, like I said, I'm going to call her quits for tonight, as always, on Tuesday. I will have a video tomorrow. We're going to, like I said, it's going to be covering MetaZoo a little bit more. One more time, some of the information using Nick's strength in Pokemon, and then expanding that, doing a little bit more of a search on that. So that'll be tomorrow. Also, before you guys leave, I see there's about 17 of you out there. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Let's get the likes going on this video. As always, it helps out a lot to crank them likes on this video and get that moving to start off when this thing goes to the actual production phase. And last but not least, if you guys do want to support the channel, as always, we have the 90% membership down below. Check that out if you'd like to support the channel. It's always greatly appreciated to do that. And other than that, guys, we will see you tomorrow on the video. Otherwise, we'll see you next Tuesday here, 8 p.m. Central Time as always, and we will get into another topic. Whatever it is, we'll see what the week brings, and we will talk to you then. So we will see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.